阿省省长公布2025年新预算方案。
About Budget 2025. We've titled it Meeting the Challenge. And of course, we have a lot of challenges this budget year in the face of global trade uncertainty. We've worked very hard to keep our economy competitive, maintain our Alberta advantage, and also stand up for our province's autonomy. Our strong quality of life, our strong economy, and abundant opportunities continue to make Alberta the best place to live and work and raise a family, and we're focused on keeping it that way. Budget 2025 supports families and Albertans facing higher living costs. It invests in our core services like healthcare and education, and it positions us to respond to the uncertainties in trade caused by the tariffs. We're cutting your personal income taxes, which will save individual Albertans $750 and families $1,500 annually, at least up to that amount. Even though we had uncertainty and knew we'd run a deficit, we knew we had to give people more of their own money in their own bank accounts to deal with the pressures and potential inflation that might come from tariffs. So that's the reason why we announced the tax cut, which should deliver up to $1,500 for a double income household. We already have the lowest taxes in Canada. We pay on average about $2,100 less in income tax than the next highest province, and also about $1,100 less by not having a sales tax. We are also taking action on auto insurance, which we know when fully implemented should save households about $400 for insuring a vehicle. And we did a lot of work on electricity to bring down the cost of electricity and reduce the amount of taxes that municipalities charge with local access fees, as well as create some stability in the regulated rate option. And we did a lot of advocacy as well to get rid of the carbon tax, which is going to be really important as we get into the winter season. The carbon tax on home heating was costing almost 4 times the cost of the gas. So that'll make a big difference to households as well. And it's making a big difference every time people fill up their tank. I think they're seeing it now, finally, with the prices having come down. We're investing billions across the healthcare system to improve healthcare access, build capacity at hospitals and rural facilities, expand surgeries, retain healthcare workers, and of course, grow out our primary care through both new funding models for doctors and nurse practitioners. We're also investing heavily in education to hire 4,500 more teachers and other educational staff, and of course, supporting the construction of new and expanded schools to create more than 200,000 new school spaces by 2030. The other big affordability item for families has been the implementation of the $15 a day daycare. That saves families about $700 per child per month. It's a massive support for families to be able to pay for the other things for their kids. We also continue to support a low-income bus pass, continue to support food banks, especially multicultural food banks too, because we know that there are food preferences that some of the cultural food banks are able to offer to their communities. So we've been supporting those as well. There are 9 terrible policies that just have to be off the table or repealed. I've put those out publicly for whoever becomes prime minister. We need to guarantee that we've got full and unfettered access to oil and gas corridors going north, east, south, and west. We need to repeal Bill C-69. That's the bill that prevents pipelines from being built. We need to lift the tanker ban off the BC coast so we can export our product. We need to eliminate the oil and gas emissions cap threats. It's because it would be a production cap. We need to scrap the clean electricity regs, which are targeting a net zero power grid in a period of time that is unachievable. We need to end the declaration of plastics as toxic and get rid of the ban on single-use plastics because it's impacting our cross-border trade. We need to abandon net zero car mandates. That's going to impact our friends in Ontario as they're facing restricted markets to their product because they do not produce enough net zero vehicles to meet that mandate by 2026. We need to have the oversight of the industrial carbon tax stay at the provincial level, and we need to stop the federal censorship law on energy companies. They're not allowed to talk about their emission success. If the new government is serious about resetting their relationship with Alberta, that those things will be repealed in very short order. I'll give them 6 months. I'll probably be spending lots of time in Ottawa, calling my travel agent to make sure that I'm out there able to lobby directly. But we're going to try. We're going to do everything we can to reset the relationship. One of the other things that we've done is invoke the Alberta Sovereignty within the United Canada Act to take ownership of all of the emissions data, and also declare all of our oil sites critical infrastructure, so the federal government is not going to be able to just go on them and shut them down. And we've also got partnerships with our provincial counterparts. We signed a declaration on the part of all the subnational governments to open up economic corridors, including for oil and gas pipelines. So I think we've got a good framework. Now we will wait and see how serious the federal government is about changing the relationship with Alberta. We think that Alberta's success lies in a three-part approach. One is maintaining a good relationship with the United States and keeping those markets open. The other is trading more with each other. So going to Ontario and Quebec and seeing how we can trade with each other and support each other, which I've already done and I will do more of. And then also internationally on trade mission to South Korea and Japan, so that we can find new ways to open up our markets to energy, to food, to manufactured products. And so I think that three-pronged approach is also going to be able to serve Alberta well.